Do you feel plugged in to what's going on in the world?
I'm very conscious of my friends all over the world, and
Yeah.
I've been particularly in contact with people in India who are facing it in a much more serious way than we tend to do here. Most of them are not in a bad position, in so far as they have adequate income and so on. Of course, a lot of people in India are in a real mess. Day laborers, a lot of people, day laborers in India, have now no income and no reserves. Food is not getting distributed and so on. So I've kept quite a close contact with people in India, and I've been in contact with friends in other parts of the world. And for instance, I've been in contact with Vajranatha, who was in Merida, is in Merida in Venezuela, who's just about to leave after spending several months there, and now is not able to. The British government did arrange for transport from Caracas, but he couldn't get from his city to Caracas, so he's stuck there and very concerned about the situation in general, because many medical people left Venezuela over the last 2 or 3 years, so there's a very rudimentary medical system, and food distribution is problematic. And of course, there's something of a ramping up of the military takeover. So I'm very aware of the difference between my situation, which is extremely comfortable and not threatening at all, and the situation that many people would be facing in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
My main difficulty is getting food, because the supermarkets we usually get deliveries from, we haven't booked up quickly enough, and now can't get on the lists. So we had to venture down to Bala, a small town near where I live, which was quite a strange experience, but quite harmless, really. So apart from that, I'm not really much affected. I've got a few friends who've got coronavirus, and some of Srimala's family have it, but all fairly mild so far. So yes, I'm affected by it, but from my narrowly personal point of view, very pleasantly. Yeah, I welcome the opportunity to stay home and reflect and read and meditate and study and so on. I welcome that like a retreat.
Yes.
But I'm very conscious that my position is not the one that a great number of people in the world will be experiencing.
It's something I've been reflecting on here, particularly when talking about how to communicate more publicly and how to respond, is that people are into such very different situations.
The fact that the virus is now global, the first time this is being played out in the public media, if you see what I mean. We're all conscious of what is going on all over the world. So in a way that has never happened before, it's almost a banality now, everybody's pointing it out, we're all aware that we're all in the same boat. Like swapping stories with my friends in Delhi or in Maharashtra or in Bodh Gaya. It's all the same, or in Merida even. It's all pretty much exactly the same. In Wexford, in Ireland, they're all doing exactly the same. They're all in the same boat. They all have the same uncertainties. They all have the same fears. They all have the same possibilities. It must be at this time a sort of moment when the whole world is united in a single state of mind, which is broadly similar. Of course, there are going to be big differences, but there's something about it at core that is the same the world over. So I'd say reflect on that and try to be conscious of that all over the world. And everybody's, of course, obsessively watching the news, partly to distract and partly to inform. But I think there's a positive side to that, because it does promote this sense of global solidarity, which is unprecedented and very precious, and one can only feel fleeting.
Is there an overarching myth or story that matches the situation we find ourselves in, something that sort of helps us understand?
What immediately sprang to my mind without any cogitation was death. There's so much about this situation that is death. Death is stopping everything, and it's opening up a space. So yes, for me, the myth of, well, it's not the myth, the reality of death and uh, the facts of death, what it is that seems to happen, is the overarching myth.